Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Dre Lavelle, the Bread Talker today, and we're just coming together with my team, my lovely wife, Shereen Carroll, and we got another one coming in, Miss Kimberly. She'll be in shortly. But listen, we just wanted to get this call started and just begin with some energy and vibration. So what we want to talk about and discuss, and we were having a conversation the other day, Shereen and Carroll, actually last night, and what it alluded to was me thinking of the idea or us thinking of the idea. Let's go live and talk about a little bit what we discussed. And it kind of we went over consistency. We went over, does it really matter? What happens when we're not consistent with the things that we say that we're going to do, or the businesses that we enter, or the relationships that we enter, or just life in general? What happens when you're not consistent with those things? And hey, listen, what happens to if you are consistent? So, Shereen, Carroll, listen, I appreciate everybody for coming out tonight. We're streaming on Facebook, we're streaming on Instagram, we're streaming live on YouTube. So we're in multiple places at the same time. So listen, what do you think about consistency, Shereen?
I think it's important because when I think about education, you said about the road, but when I think about education, when I think of consistency, right, I think of, going to school, and I think of the grades, first grade through 12, right? You had to be consistent in that learning. And in the beginning, when you was first in preschool, they taught you some elementary things. And then as you got, up in grades, and as you went to high school, all they did was add on, right, what you learned from elementary school. And the consistency, if you was focused on what you were taught from the elementary level to the middle school and then high school level, you excelled, right?
Absolutely.
If you was consistent. And so that's what consistency means to me, to continue on a path and a journey when you know the direction that you're going in, and you just keep the focus. You keep it focused and consistent. And it's very important to be consistent so you can elevate to the next level.
Absolutely. I totally agree. If you're not consistent, well, you know what the results are going to be, babe. I often remind myself, what happens if I'm not consistent in my own household with my wife or my children. If we neglect anything, then of course the results are going to be what they're going to be. Nothing. So, Carol, listen, I know, you have a lot of experience, a lot of wisdom, in your lifetime. What do you think about in your lifetime? What has been some of the consequences of lack of consistency?
Well, ultimately, if when you're not consistent, you can say, "Oh, this is what I want," or "This is where I want to go." But if you're not consistently working towards what you're actually saying you want to do or achieve, then you don't end up getting to the ultimate goal that you aspire to achieve. You know, so it's consistency is pretty important. I know a lot of people struggle with. But it's really something that we need in order to be successful in anything, whether it's running the household or um, running the household or what have you. But being consistent is really important. It just even in everyday life, people consistently go to work. You consistently eat. You have to be consistent in just about anything.
I agree. What's going on, Kimberly? Welcome. I know she got maybe a little lag in there. Can you hear me, Kimberly? You hear me? Having a little technical difficulties, but that's okay. That's okay.
But I
Sheree.
love the topic that you have up there. You have up there road rage, respect consistency because it matters. Um, and I often think of when I'm driving and I have a direction that I'm trying to go into. The only time I get real road rage is if I'm rushing, right? Because I'm late, right? I'm getting road rage because I have that urgency to get where I'm going. And so I'm like, move, lady. Like, my patience is not the same, right? Because I have not done what I needed to do in the first place, right? I did not do what I needed to do in the first place. So now I'm taking it out on whoever's in the middle of the road, right? Because if I wasn't running late, it wouldn't matter who's in front of me. It wouldn't matter how slow they was going. Absolutely. Because I already properly prepared for, something like this to happen. Absolutely. But when I'm not consistent, right? And now I'm late. I'm running late for whatever appointment. Now that road rage kicks in because now I'm rushing. Mm-hmm. And I want whoever's in my path to get out my way because I want to go in the direction that I want to go to, and I want to get there fast. And I find that a lot of people think the road to success is that playing field, right? That it's a rush, right? And we have to get there. And if we're gonna knock people down to get there, that's what we're gonna do because we want to hit that success button like yesterday. We want it microwavable. But how many of us know that in life, success doesn't come that way, right? Because you go through some ups and downs, right? It doesn't go straight across like a road. Sometimes you have to go up and down. You have to make some turns and some curves. And sometimes you might get stopped by the police, and you have to be prepared for all those different processes that you're going to go through once you're trying to reach that destination. So to me, Dre, this is perfect for to be consistent, right, with your time, making sure you have that morning routine. All of that stuff is important so that you don't have that rage because you already properly prepared yourself for any probability that might come up so that you won't be late, right, for your success journey. So, Kimberly, can you hear us now?
And then a lot of time when you're rushing, to get somewhere.
I can.
Because you're rushing, once you get stopped by the police, it makes you, even later than you were when you started out. So, that's what I thought about when you said that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We can't hear you, Dre. You're muted.
What's going on, Kimberly? It may be a little bit of a delay. Is there a delay?
No, I can hear you guys fine. I think I'm experiencing a storm on my end, so that could be why there is some sort of interruption on my end.
That's okay. That's okay.
But
so
I'm consistent.
That's right.
Go ahead. Yeah, she's experiencing a storm in the area. I think they're having a big storm down south. I know they're talking about tornadoes, but listen, that just reminds me, Shireen, you had said something about driving. When you're driving and dealing with road rage and things like that, and if you had taken the proper steps to be where you needed to be earlier on, then that would have avoided some collisions, some mishaps that could happen. I think of this when it comes to success, anything we want to obtain in life. I love that phrase. Success is a moving target. Consistently, it is moving. So if you're not moving along with it, then you're going to complicate yourself with road rage, right? Upset, discontent. You might start thinking that the problem is elsewhere, and that's where accountability really comes in. I believe accountability comes in at that point. Often I say to myself, Dre, are you being consistent with your own self, or is it somebody else's fault? What is it that's something? I believe that there's nobody that can control my time, my energy, anything that has to do with me. But me, right? If you look in the mirror, you often find out who that culprit is. It's you. Now, case by case scenario, there are extenuating circumstances where it may be certain faults of other people, like somebody caused you to, maybe you were on time, you were doing everything you needed to do, but somebody just swerved into your lane, right? Out of nowhere. And guess what, man? They cause a collision. But be that as it may, 90% of the time, I think me being consistent is relative towards my business, is relative towards my family. It's just relative towards all kinds of things that happens around me. And I like people that are around me that are also being accountable for their own self in their own consistent matters.
Absolutely. The company you keep is very important. Kimberly, can you hear us now? Because one of the things Drake asked us all is, how do you feel? And what do you think about consistency? You weren't on the line at the time. Do you feel like you can speak at this point about the consistency? Or what do you feel about consistency? Its importance.
Yeah, that storm is really causing interference. She was all right earlier, but that storm, I think they're having a tornado down in that area.
Wow.
So
Be safe.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, Shereen, so I was thinking of a story, Carol. I was thinking of a story earlier today. So I had posted something on my Facebook, and I have over something I saw, and I'm watching the kids, play basketball outside, and it just dawned on me. I said, you know what? Imagine if I had to open up if you opened up a store, right, or you opened up a business, and it's a grand opening. Everybody comes, everybody's excited because you're offering this new product. She's breaking up some. Hold on. You're offering this new product, you're offering a new opportunity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, right, what happens is you got your first day is great, second week is great, your third week, man, you're doing awesome, and then something just happens, something just changes, which prevents you from doing the job that you were doing before. You're not giving 110%. You were giving high quality to the people, to the masses. Well, whatever happened, somebody got sick, your car's not working, you can't make it to work, you can't make it to your business or whatever, and a couple days go by, a week go by, and you just get back on track, start picking up momentum, start picking up some business again, right? However, something else happens. Something always comes up in the middle of a high, of things going good, of things going well. Something always comes up. What you do is naturally, your human nature says draw back instead of going towards the fire and taking care of whatever the business is and just working through the scenario. You take days and lapse and gaps, and you have gaps in between whatever opportunities that you've created for yourself, and you got traffic, you got opportunity, you got people that's really believing in you. But the problem is, sooner or later, your lack or inability to remain consistent is going to allow opportunity for somebody else to come in, and they may not have a better product. They may not have the best service. But what they do have, they have strong consistency, and they see that. And because they see that, you have now lost your position to opposition, right? You could have maintained it, but because you got into the spirit of your energy, you got into the spirit of doubt, in the spirit of accidents or just coincidences happening and just really taking over your life, Carol. What do you do?
So, because you said a lot,
right?
But the one thing that I kept thinking about while you were speaking, you're going to have obstacles. You're going to have distractions. There's always going to be something going on personally, at work, in the family, at the church, there's always going to be something. But this is the scenario that I put forth an effort. Didn't say the T word, right? This is the scenario that I put forth an effort to focus on. If you're driving down the street and, a bug splatters on your car, do you just pull over and get out and say, forget it, I'm just going to start walking?
That's good.
Or do you just hit the fluid in the windshield wipers and you keep it moving? It's just bugs on the windshield, and if we stay focused and consistent, and look at things from that perspective and just say, everything is okay. So, you can let's just talk about the space that we're in. You can say, well, I want to build a team of 20 people, just saying, and you build a team of 20 people, and then like 3 months later, there's nobody there. It's bugs on the windshield. Just stay focused on what your end goal is. That's that consistency. You got to just keep moving it, because if you keep pressing towards the mark, eventually you'll get there. And if you keep looking back, that brings me to a whole nother scenario. And I minister to people at different times, and what I tell them is, there's a reason that your rear view mirror is much smaller than your windshield. You know why? Because where you've been is so much smaller than where you're going. Have you ever really? There's only been one time in my life that I drove a vehicle looking in the rear view mirror the whole time, and that was because my nephew was following behind me, and he was a brand new driver, and we were on the freeway, and I couldn't drive two cars, and I needed him to drive a car, but it took like 50 minutes to do a 20-minute route looking in the rear view mirror the whole entire time. But if you just focus on where you're going instead of where you've been, like, you'll just get there so much faster.
Wow. I mean, but that requires them to have a vision, right? So the majority of the times people don't know what they want, and they don't have a vision, right? They haven't built that vision and that imagination of where they really want to go. So a lot of times people do things without having the vision, right? And the Bible teaches us, even if you're not a Bible principle, it still makes sense. Without vision, you perish. You perish, not like you perish, you have no end goal, right? Because if I can't see a destination of where I'm going, I'm never going to hit the destination, because I don't really know where I'm going. And I know for sure, when my mind knows where it's going, I can drive without even driving. Exactly. Because my subconscious mind is going to take me straight. I know I've been having conversations and I'm supposed to be going to the supermarket, but because I'm driving in my subconscious mind, I wind up going home instead of going to the supermarket.
Absolutely.
Because I was driving, really not paying attention. I was just driving. So a lot of times, without that vision of knowing what we want when we're on the road to success, the reason why we stumble and fall is because we don't have that vision. We don't have the map, right? We don't have the map in front of us telling us, okay, right now, even if you stop, you still have an opportunity to get there 10 minutes early if you take this other turn, right? And to me, those other turns might be your coach saying, slow down, because you're going too fast, right? Slow down on the process. You're going too fast. And it's okay to slow down to catch back up. And some people don't realize sometimes you're going to fall back to catch back up. I know growing up, sometimes I remember my husband was in the Navy when he first went, and he went away. I didn't want to be in Virginia by myself. I had to go back home and be with my mom. For me having my own place, to go step back. So by the time my husband come back, we'll be a step ahead. It wasn't something I understood at that time, but my husband understood that one of the things we wanted to do was save so we can go forward. And so sometimes people don't get that. Staying focused, if he wasn't so focused on what he wanted for our family, I would have argued him down with that, right? I'm going to stay in Virginia in my own house. I don't want to go back to New York, right? So it's just a matter of also the people you have in your surrounding, the people you have in your ear, and what are they telling you as you take that road to success so that you can stay focused. Welcome.
Sometimes you put the wayside, if they're not, on the same, people come into your life for a reason, a season, and a lifetime, and I heard it on one of Medea's movies, where we make a mistake or where we mess up is where we take seasonal people and put them into a lifetime position. You can say, oh, this is my homegirl for life, like all of this or whatever, but she might be, just stuck where she's at, not in a negative sense, but, I'm okay with a 9 to 5. I'm okay with getting a paycheck every week or every 2 weeks. And there are people that aren't okay with that, but want more in life than just what an employer says that you're worth, you know?
Absolutely.
I agree. I agree. Hold on, make sure I'm easy. Yeah, I definitely agree. Kimberly, and it's moving out. Yeah, it's like a lag.
She
Okay.
can,
That's good, Carol.
oh, thank you.
That was really good.
So Kimberly, what do you think about the as far as the conversation we're having, again, talking about respect, consistency, and whether it matters or not, is there something that you can think about in your own business as far as you, as long as you've been here in this space, what are some of the things that you had to encounter that has forced you to come out of your shell or come out of whatever you had to, just so that your consistency level can match your intensity or match your true desires?
Absolutely. To be honest, I would say it's different versus having
You going in and
business
out.
acumen. I had to get into because
Kimberly, your
or
connection
language
is breaking up. It's still breaking up.
when you're so but when it comes to their lives, different. It
Kimberly,
is wow.
the connection is really coming in choppy. You can catch every one word every 2 seconds or so.
Business acumen when you are presenting, when you're helping to change lives. So
All right. Can you text her? Can you text her?
Yeah, definitely text her.
every other word, I'm gonna go
And
out and I'm gonna come back in.
okay. Keemit, what's going on, brother? So we're having a discussion. We're talking about again, we're talking about same question to you. Consistency and respect doesn't matter. You've been alive for quite some time. So what are some of the things that you've encountered in life that you can relate to? And what was the penalty for not having that level of consistency? How has it affected your business and how you move?
Well, I think it's in whatever is affecting me not just clear.
I can hear you.
Okay, so it boils down to integrity. Falling out of integrity with myself has caused me to lapse in getting things done as far as like my goals are concerned. Maybe like falling out of integrity with my health goals, having integrity with even the proper foods and working out. I know that I have value for myself, but if I truly have value for myself, I know that I shouldn't be eating certain things and I should be taking care of my health to have longevity and to enjoy the wealth that I'm creating in my life. So as I got distracted from different things that were going on in my life, I fell out of that integrity, right? Doing things on time, doing things what I say I'm going to do those things, and then being consistently doing those things as well. So it caused me to gain weight. Lacking integrity in my fitness caused me to gain weight. Lacking integrity with my finances caused me to fall behind on certain bills. I'm just in a place now, as I learn those principles, right, of having consistent integrity with my finances and my health. Well, predominantly my finances. I shared that with you earlier. I sold my house. I'm debt free. I have no more debt, and I'm currently in a position where I can do things that I should have enjoyed being in this position years ago. So it's just really important to maintain value, understand what your value is, what your worth is, and keep that
Hey
in front of
guys.
you, keep it in the forefront of who you are, to remind yourself what you should be doing and why you're doing it.
I like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Kima, to elaborate on that, what are some of the things that you put in place uh, that got you out of that space of inconsistency? What are some of you could just name one or two.
Well, for one, personal development is really important.
Yes.
I did a major introspection. I took a course with a particular company, and allowed me to develop some principles to really deep dive into who I am, how I became who I am, and understand that there's nothing wrong with who I am as well, right? Like, we all have a path. We all are on the road to life, driving our vehicles, getting to where we have to go. And sometimes you're on the road. There's some people like, man, you're driving way too slow, but you have the option to go around. You don't have to keep following the person that's not going as fast as you want to go.
Wow.
Some people are having accidents, so those people are lacking integrity for how they should be driving their vehicles, right? So if your health is an analogous to how you operate your vehicle, you can't get mad at somebody else when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, right? So I started to pay more attention to me and less attention to other people and how they're doing their things.
That part.
So I can have more integrity with me and what I want to do while I'm driving my vehicle. So I eat healthier now. I'm getting back in the gym. I read books and tapes to improve and refill, put fuel back in the tank that I have, of life, to be positive when I speak to people,
Wow.
and just like, I really had to do a deep dive introspection on who I am and why. Like, when I was at my highest point of success that I believed, because we're all successful, we all achieve certain levels of it. But at my highest point, when I believed I was having the most fun, impacting the most lives around me, how I felt, I reminded myself of how I felt, what I was doing in those moments. I'm getting back to that, right? So now I have true integrity with who I am. I'm able to get on this call with you guys and speak with confidence about what I'm doing, where I'm going, and who I'm surrounding myself with. Like, we're in business together, and every time I get in contact with you and your wife, I want to add value. I want to add value to every person I come in contact with, and hopefully,
Absolutely.
prayerfully, it causes a ripple effect. And I might not be able to touch everybody, but through everyone I come in contact with, I can touch people that they touch, right? So that's where I'm at right now.
That's good.
I love it. That was awesome.
It was really awesome.
Thank you.
Definitely want to elaborate on that. Carol, yourself, or Shireen, even Kimberly, what are some of the things that you do now today that you do differently that is increasing the value that you bring to your business, that's bringing value to your life? And I'm really, again, we're talking about the consistency, and why does it really matter? Because it does matter. So what are some of the things that you've done? Kima just finished talking about certain barriers that he put out. He started remembering what it was that took him away from where he was, right? And being able to recognize those things. So what are some of the things that Shireen or Carol, what are some of the things that you've gone through, or what are some of the things that you've done to help you overcome that point in period? I'm gonna turn that off.
Well, the one thing that I do consistently, since I've been in this space, the motivational calls that we listen to throughout the week with, Dr. Jewel, Dr. China, those kind of things. As I was listening to Lady Shireen last night, it feels your day just feels different. Your mind feels different if you don't get on those calls. Because to listen to someone who may have achieved the level of success where you are,
Wow.
as opposed to listen to someone who's equal to you or even nowhere near where you want to be, you know, you can't lead you can't lead where you don't go, and you can't teach what you don't know. And I really believe those things. So I just like being consistent because it seems like it helps me to elevate myself, my thought process. It helps me with my posture. When I'm, even speaking like this, or just talking to someone about anything. I don't have to defend what I believe, whether it's business or anything of that such, but it's the posture that I've learned, and that's from being on the calls consistently, listening to someone else motivating and mentoring me, whether they know that this what they're doing or not. But that's how I take it.
Wow, I love that, because right there you just spoke about what this environment is really all about, right? The power of making yourself available, and defeating whatever it is that is your weaknesses, being around a wealth community that's going to help empower you, that's going to help nourish you. And one of the things that I've gotten out of this business that we're all in together is, man, I really have to be more accountable to me. I got to be more accountable to my family. It's not about just me. In order for me, myself, Carol, just in order for me to obtain true entrepreneurship, right? Because that's not something that was embedded in me. It wasn't something that I grew up with around my household. It was just something that I dreamed about, imagined. It was a catchy cliche that I used to hear. When you hear songs, I'm a boss, I'm a boss, of people saying those things. But I remember being at a young age and watching the A&E channel, and they used to have this biography. If you go to YouTube, A&E, and pull up biographies, they have some interesting, phenomenal people who actually shaped the world that we're living in today. And I used to watch and aspire to be like, or dream that I could be something like those people, because it intrigued me at a young age. And fast forward all these years later, it's like 20 something plus years later. And now I'm moving into the realm of entrepreneurship, where I have to, where I would say, what I kill, I keep. Not saying naturally kill, but what I kill, what I work for, I keep, right? Of course, you got to give it to the tax man too, right? But in a nutshell, what we do here in this space, it is required for us to be around a wealth community that's going to help nourish us, that's going to help feed our mind, not just financially, but mentally. Because I think success, it really begins here first, in the mind. Success begins in the mind.
Absolutely.
And then expands so much further there. So consistently, like that moving target of success, we have to continue to grow and nourish ourselves within our community so that we can become stronger. And then we are more impactful to our own families, our own households, and to our own communities, and in our own churches, or whatever religious preferences you have, or whoever surrounds you. Now we can feed ours as opposed to others feeding us, or depending on the government, or depending on a work professional career to simply give us. Wouldn't you agree, Shereen?
Absolutely. I really don't want to depend on anybody, but as of right now, I'm still a little dependent on my job. And my consistency lies in my morning routine. And my morning routine, starting with thinking mornings with Nano, got me with getting up earlier. And so 4:30 is our wake up time, where we pray first, and then we do our exercise, and then I try to do my post, and then I go to work. And even I have a routine. I mean, I got to the point where I even have a routine when I first get to work in the morning. And if anybody is negative, right, we have what I put up as a gratitude bowl. And if anything negative coming out your mouth, go ahead and go write me something gratitude, because the negativity it's not allowed in my space. And so there's a lot of different routines that you can put in place so that you can stay focused on the journey you're trying to go to. But if you have not written it down and made it plain, if you do not have a GPS, there's no way you're going to get to that routine. You're not going to be consistent, and then you're going to be frustrated because you're going to be on that road of rage because you have not written it out so those that see it can run, right? And so to me, the consistency means running the race so that you can accomplish the task that you set before you. And so that's what it is for me, babe. It's just being consistent. And I'm so grateful to partner up with all of you guys, because definitely we are definitely consistent. You know, even Fourth the Great, I saw him on a live. Shout out to you, Fourth. You know, we get on and we are study together. And I work, you know, and one of the things that I hear people say is that I don't have the time to study. I'm forever a student. I have to make the time. I cannot afford the time not to read a book. I have to continuously use my brain, because if I don't, right, what's going to happen is my brain going to die.
That's
People
right.
don't realize that if you don't use your brain, if you don't read, if you don't put information into your brain, cells are dying consistently.
Absolutely. Use it or lose it.
Say that again.
Use it or lose it.
Absolutely.
That's right.
So if we're not constantly putting new thoughts in our brain and being around people that are smarter than us, that can help educate us to go to a higher level, we're wasting our minds. Our minds were created for us to think and create.
Yes.
We can't do that if we're in the same space and we're doing the same thing over and over every day. I just get up, I go to work, I come home, I cook, I deal with my family. No, we have to do something that's going to take us to higher heights. And that's one of the things that you develop when you get in the circle. Yeah, you can do stuff on your own and you can be on your own. But I tell you this, it's so much better when you're in a circle, because people can, one, hold you accountable and check you when you're not doing something right. And then you can be like, okay, I do see that. Let me, get back in line. Let me, check out my roadmap, and maybe I need to cross one section out. So accountability is so important, but who's holding you accountable? And I know I'm going into a lot of different directions, but it still has to do with consistency, right? Because they're going to hold you accountable to that consistency of where you should be in any of your business. So I'm going to hand it back over to you, Dre. It's, 37 minutes.
Yes.
So I'm going to be, aware of people's time, but thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Definitely. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're winding down right now. We want to welcome you into our wealth community and say thank you for taking the opportunity to listen to this valuable information. We definitely encourage you to share, tag, comment down below, or even go inside of each of our inboxes, whether it's Kimberly's or Kemit's or Carol's or my beautiful wife Shireen. Just go ahead and in there, leave a comment and just write something that you may have gotten out of the information shared. If you would like to see more, definitely, we definitely encourage that. This episode is called Road Rage, Respect Consistency. It matters, ladies and gentlemen. Again, you can find us if you're interested in learning more about what our wealth community is truly all about. Again, just comment down below. Go ahead in our inbox, and whoever invited you to this space, whoever invited you to this message, definitely get back with the person that invited you to this information. So
I would like to say that we are definitely having an opportunity called tomorrow, which is Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we will be discussing the fundamentals of the new rules of money. And we will be talking about trading, cryptocurrency, DeFi banking, pay to earn, all those things that are, coming into fruition when it's pertaining to money and decision making that we have to do pertaining to money. So just want to invite anyone out, if you're interested in learning about those subjects, definitely DM me or any of these young ladies. And I know that I can be reached, as you can see. That's my IG live. I am Lady Bread Talker. I am _ Lady Bread Talker. Or you can text LEARN to 757-831-2992. And again, that's tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be on Zoom. So make sure you reach out to us, because listen, you want to be a part of this wealth conversation. And thank you, Dre, for the opportunity.
No problem, baby. Thank you. Hey, Carol, go ahead and just leave your information with the people so they know how to get in contact with you.
I am at CA Moore Hughley on IG, and just hitting me up that way is the best way. The number, I can never keep this number. Sorry. The number is 440-940-6724. That's 440-940-6724. The last thing I would like to say on this call is set your goals, be consistent, and no matter the distractions, stay focused.
Absolutely, absolutely. My brother DJ Smooth Cat. Go ahead and leave your information, and so how can the people get back in contact with you?
So they can get in contact with me at my Instagram, which is KEMITJOHN on Instagram, or DJ Smooth Cat, either one. And it's been great to be on this call. Thank you for the opportunity to speak and be part of this one message.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for being a part of this this wealth conversation too as well. Kimberly, I don't know if you're lagging right there, but if you can, just go ahead and leave your information. If not, we're going to do it for you. Kim, you can find Kimberly just on Facebook. Just look up her name, as you can see it there, KIMBERLYE, and then last name McKinney, McKinney. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, we just want to put you guys in a space, in a place of opportunity, put you in a space and place where you can be surrounded by a wealth community that can help you advance where you are at in your life. We don't want to, we want to meet you where you're at and help elevate you as well. And in turn, ladies and gentlemen, listen, you may come across us and help elevate us too as well. So welcome to our wealth family. My name is Dre Lavelle, the Bread Talker. You can see my IG, @bread talker. And I look forward to hearing back from you. Kimberly, you there? Yeah, that stone got her. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your night. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be having that opportunity call. Come learn about DeFi banking. Come learn about the metaverse. Come learn about cryptocurrency. Come learn about the new rules of money. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be an incredible call. Look forward to seeing you there. Go ahead to our Facebook page. You're going to see a flyer there. You're going to register. We can't wait to see you there. Talk to me.
Yes. See you on the inside, guys. See you on the inside.
Good night.